Hey Curtis, are you ready to work on our summary of learning for EC&I 834?
Yeah, let's start planning. I don't know how we'll ever live up to legends like Dean, Amanda, Catherine, Matt, and Trevor.
Right? They set the bar really high.
Whoa, do you hear that noise?
Ah, it sounds like dial-up internet. Bad memories. I'm getting dizzy. What's happening?
Ah! Whoa, what happened?
Are we in Minecraft?
Alec, is that you?
This is EC&I 834. I hope everyone's doing well.
What is this place?
Oh, check this out. It's Build Challenge 1.
Whoa, look at these nice lanterns.
Who are all those NPCs standing up in there?
Oh, it's Amanda.
Daniel? Is that you?
I think our whole class is here in this Minecraft world.
Yeah, one thing that's been really great about this class is being able to connect with our classmates and build our PLNs.
Agreed. Dr. Kuros always makes time for breakout room discussions and sharing with the whole class. I feel like I really got to know everyone here.
Yeah, look, even our guest speakers, Dr. John Spencer and Mark Faneuf are here. Remember that time we stayed on Zoom for so long with Amanda, Jennifer, and Kelly after class, and that Alex signed off and made me the host? Good times.
Yeah, and remember when Curtis Norman discovered Twitter chats? He found so many awesome resources and shared them with our whole class on the hashtag ECNI 834.
He even started a Tech Talk Tuesday with his staff to share all the new tools and resources he was learning about.
There were always so many people willing to help out on Discord, too. It's great to have such an awesome community to lean on.
It was such a great model for us to begin thinking about how we could get our students collaborating in our treaty education and Minecraft course.
Yeah, I think we did a good job of using different tools to encourage meaningful interactions. We used Teams, Forms, Padlet, Class Notebook.
I think a good next step would be thinking about how we can get students to share more broadly with a provincial or even global audience.
Yeah, connecting around the world, kind of like that Earth Sandwich Challenge from Z Frank back in 2006 that Dr. Kuro showed us. That was epic.
I still can't believe the Hey, You're Okay song came from him. I had no idea.
It seems fitting since we're stuck in a Minecraft world.
Right now it feels like I forgot to turn the light on. And things that looked so good yesterday are now shades of gray.
Oh, did you see this boat? That reminds me of when Dr. Kuro showed us the sea shanties in class.
Yeah, the sea shanties are such a great example of collaborating online and building community in online or blended learning.
Hey, check out that computer screen with the UX on it. Where have I seen that before?
I think that's similar to the logo on the homepage of John Spencer's website. And the UX probably stands for UX design. Remember when I wrote a blog post about that?
Oh yeah, let's head over there and check it out.
John Spencer's presentation was awesome. I remember he talked about focusing on social emotional learning, and he reminded us that we can still do hands-on activities during online learning.
Yeah, and did you know Christina made her whole course prototype on social emotional learning? It's fantastic. Hey, look, John Spencer himself. Hi, Dr. Spencer.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Dr. Spencer also talked about using analytical questions to get students thinking critically. He suggested using sentence frames to help students with that. I think that's where we got the idea of using those sentence stems to help our students plan their builds for our Treaty Ed and Minecraft course. So what were the main components of UX design again? Do you think we implemented most of them in our course by the end?
One thing was to embrace onboarding. We did that with the Microsoft tutorials in the pre-module. Next was to begin with students in mind. We did that by using surveys to ask students' comfort levels with Minecraft and by gathering their prior knowledge using Padlet. Next was to be linear, but connective and keep the course easy to navigate. Consistency was also a part of it, which we did by keeping the style of our lessons and templates the same. Last was frequent feedback, which we could probably have improved on by asking students for more feedback on the course design and the use of Teams in Class Notebook.
Okay, let's walk over to build number 3. Ooh, this looks like a toolbox. I wonder what's inside.
I think it's all the EdTech tools we learned about. Look, the signs show the tool and who blogged about them.
I blogged about Nearpod. It's an interactive presentation tool that allows students to respond to questions and complete activities throughout a presentation. You can use the activities as quick formative assessments and give immediate feedback to students based on their responses. You can embed polls, open-ended questions, Flipgrid responses, collaborate boards, and more. The other great thing is you can trim videos and only use the most relevant segments, as well as make questions pop up during the video, which is a similar feature to Edpuzzle.
I took a look at Explain Everything. This is a digital whiteboard platform where teachers can present information in engaging ways. Teachers can embed all sorts of media, screen record it, and export it directly into the LMS. It is super easy to use with other EdTech tools, just like Edpuzzle. Teachers can also use it to create GIFs. It's always good to have lots of tools in our toolbox to engage students and get quick feedback on their level of understanding.
For sure. I'm looking forward to seeing our students use Flipgrid to explain their builds throughout our treaty education and Minecraft course.
Let's head over to that build. It looks like a giant hammer.
Yeah, it reminds me of our blog post, Building Off Your Thoughts, where we responded to the feedback we got during class on our course prototype.
Oh yeah, and look, it's the peers who were in our breakout room that night, and some of the ones who stayed after class and gave us more feedback.
Oh, that's awesome. We got quite a bit of positive feedback that night, didn't we?
Yeah, everyone thought having students represent their learning in Minecraft Education Edition seemed really interesting and fun. They also liked that our first few lesson plans were fairly detailed for teachers who don't have an in-depth knowledge of the treaty outcomes.
Oh, right. And they loved the build challenges you created in Canva. I remember someone also said it was great that we were teaching the course while we created it, so we could test out the lessons and make adjustments. Testing out the first lessons with students made us realize that we needed to restructure our modules, break things down, and take things slower than we had originally planned.
We also got lots of constructive feedback at the end of class that night. That was when Dr. Kuros encouraged us to think about hosting our content outside Microsoft Teams in Class Notebook.
Oh yeah, and that's when we asked him about whether or not we should create instructional videos based on the social studies and treaty outcomes. He said we could do some as a scaffold for teachers, but that we wouldn't want to create a whole course of videos the teachers could just take and use, since it's really important for teachers to dig into this content and much more impactful for students when those lessons come from their teacher.
We did end up creating an instructional video on the reasons the British Crown wanted to make treaties though, and it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, I'm proud of that video. It was my first time making a video with Canva and Camtasia together.
Dr. Kuros also asked us about authentic representation in Minecraft and gave us some potential extension ideas for our course. That's also part of what led us to reach out to Amos from Pheasant Rump First Nations and Sharon and Alana from Fowl Hills Quappel Tribal Council to get more feedback on our course, because we wanted to make sure it was authentic and respectful, especially because we are both white settler teachers.
Exactly. Amos's suggestions were really helpful. He told us to keep using resources from the Office of the Treaty Commissioner, to try to stay with local resources and knowledge as much as possible, and encouraged us to try to incorporate Nakota language into our Minecraft world in the future.
Right, and remember he also said that we should add a teacher's notes section with suggestions for responding to stereotypes or misconceptions that might come up in some of the lessons.
It was also great to get some positive feedback from Sharon and Alana. They were excited to see what our students were building and encouraged us to stick with the OTC resources as well. Wow, that looks like the logos for Teams, Class Notebook, and WordPress. This build must be about the LMS.
Audrey Waters talks about the importance of owning our own domain in her post Beyond the LMS. Do you remember that reading?
Oh, yeah. That was the one where she talked about how the web was supposed to be open and about connection. She talked about owning your domain as a way to build a rich professional portfolio and recognize the importance of digital identity, what it means to control and shape it, and what it means to own your data.
Right, because the LMS often creates walls where someone else owns the data.
Right. And while the LMS can empower you in certain ways, it also constrains you in certain ways and can affect your teaching practice because of that. I think the main point was that we need to reflect on the ways the LMS affects our pedagogy and that owning your own domain can have benefits. We kind of ended up using all three: Microsoft Teams, Class Notebook, and WordPress.
Yeah, remember when Dr. Kuros thought Class Notebook was just too clunky and not user-friendly?
Of course I do. That's what made us decide to host our content on WordPress, even though we were already using Teams and Class Notebook while teaching it, since that is the approved LMS for our school division.
Hosting our content on a WordPress site does make it a lot easier to share more widely, though.
Yes, it has a very clean look to it and makes it open for anyone to access. And we license our work with a Creative Commons license too.
We did appreciate that Class Notebook allowed our students to collaborate and plan together throughout the course. It allowed us to share content with them through the content library and keep everything in one place.
In our case, using Teams, Class Notebook, and WordPress turned out to be the best solution. We used our LMS to teach the course, distribute materials, and have students plan together, but found it easier to share the content with others using WordPress. Dr. Kouros, can you teleport us back to real life?
There are no questions. We'll see you next time. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.
Phew, we made it back.
And that was our summary of learning.
We hope you enjoyed our Minecraft adventure.